I think it's time we start talking about what happened to your parents. I can't tell you what we know, but we know you're not telling us the truth. This is your chance to tell us why. Okay? I'm not BSing yet.
This is 23-year-old Chandler Halderson. Just 24 hours earlier, on July 7th, 2021, he had reported his parents missing, claiming they'd never returned from their 4th of July trip. After filing the report, Chandler went door to door through his neighborhood, asking if anyone had seen or heard from him.
I just don't see him killing Mr. and Mrs. Halderson. He had SpaceX. Why would he jeopardize something he would dream of?
To the outside world, Chandler appears to have a bright future, a college student set to join SpaceX and preparing to move to Florida. But what detectives are about to discover is that nearly every part of his story is a lie. What comes next pushes this case from a missing persons report to one of the most chilling betrayals a family can face, revealing just how far someone will go to protect a lie already beyond saving. Krista Halderson was a 53-year-old administrative assistant, known by those around her as reliable and genuinely well-liked. Her husband, Bart, age 50, worked as a tax accountant and had recently begun working remotely, enjoying the extra time at home. The couple lived a quiet life in a suburban home in Windsor, Wisconsin, and had 2 sons. 24-year-old Mitchell, who had moved out and was working in the tech industry alongside his fiancée, and 23-year-old Chandler, who still lived with his parents while working remotely for an insurance company while pursuing an IT degree at Madison College. The family had recently celebrated Father's Day, and by all accounts, the Haldersons lived a stable, ordinary life. But all sense of normalcy would crumble in the early days of July 2021. July 1st began like any other day for the Haldersons, with both Krista and Bart going about their work as usual. But unbeknownst to their coworkers and friends, this would be the last day either of them would ever be seen alive. By July 7th, Krista had failed to show up for work the 3rd straight day, something her coworkers found deeply out of character. With no sign of Bart either, concern around their sudden disappearance began to grow. That same day, their youngest son, Chandler, walked into the Dane County Sheriff's Office and reported his parents missing since July 2nd. As investigators treat the case as a high-risk missing persons investigation, they begin reconstructing the final known movements of Krista and Bart. Meanwhile, Chandler was seen moving through the neighborhood, knocking on doors, and later gave multiple interviews to local news stations, though he didn't appear on camera.
They're probably at a casino, their phone's off, no reception somewhere, or maybe they're on a boat having some fun with their friends.
The couple's eldest son, Mitchell, and his fiancée made a 3-hour drive to the White Lake cabin where Chandler said they had traveled to. The cabin, built in the 1940s by Krista's grandparents, sat isolated, deep in the woods. The search party walked towards the cabin. However, the cabin remained untouched and showed no signs of life.
Sheriff's Office, anybody inside? Announce your presence, make yourselves known.
But as Chandler speaks to the media and his brother Mitchell searches for their parents, the case soon takes a devastating turn on July 8th, when authorities are led to a rural area in Cottage Grove, roughly 20 miles from the Halderson home. Near a drainage site, authorities are confronted with a horrifying scene. A severed human torso is found, with the head, arms, and legs missing. The brutality would suggest a deliberate attempt to conceal the truth. An autopsy would later confirm the remains belonged to Bart Halderson, who had been shot twice in the back. With a potential double homicide, investigators obtain a search warrant for the Halderson home. Inside, they discovered bloodstains and shell casings, immediately turning suspicion toward Chandler. That same day on July 8th, Chandler was brought in for questioning. And what you're about to see is a calm, calculated version of events that stands in stark contrast to the gravity of the case.
So I guess if you want to start with, let's just go back to last Wednesday.
Wednesday. I was with my dad.
What time Wednesday? I remember it. It was kind of a bad day. Okay. Why was it a bad day? Well, my mom had work, so she was gone. My dad and I were watching something over lunch. It was The Wheel of Fortune, and we normally have the couch, like with our back facing the table we sat at the end of you coming.
Downstairs or up?
Downstairs. Okay. Yeah, that room with the TV. I tossed the ball, and I smashed the glass.
Okay.
With the dog's help. That cat set my dad off, and we tried to clean it up. I don't know about him, but I got injured. But he was mad. He didn't really talk to me too much that day. Mom got home at 5, I believe. That's her normal, 5:20 to 5:30.
All right, so you were tossing a ball. What type of ball was it?
Just this gross, hairy tennis ball, Bill. Rizzo looks.
Just like a green tennis ball, like a normal.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bill with a squeaker. Not like a tennis racket ball, but
They don't chew those. My dog chews those out of any tennis ball. They just chew the squeakers out and then they don't play with them anymore. All right, so you was tossing that around, broke the fireplace glass. You said you were injured. What type of injury?
I got a pretty deep hole in my foot. Last night, Mary looked at it and she said the reason it keeps bleeding is because there's glass in it.
Oh, that's you showed us your toe.
Yeah, I showed the detective leaked it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that one, it could be infected is what she's thinking, but Neosporin's been helping.
Okay. Good. Keeping it clean and stuff.
Best you can, I know how, I guess. Yeah,
Okay.
Wednesday, back to Wednesday. Yes, I got all the glass out of the dog's hair. She didn't sustain any injuries. Good. Nothing even on her nose. She got it with her shoulder bone, I believe. So glass dog. That was roughly around 2. And then the rest, he didn't really talk to me. I went back to doing like a job search, kind of just shitting my day away. Just games, YouTube maybe. That's when I came across one of the jobs I liked. Then 5 o'clock rolled up by and Mom came home. Dinner.
Chandler begins his detailed account by going back to Wednesday, June 30th. He says his mother was at work until the evening, while he and his father stayed home, watching Wheel of Fortune during lunch. According to him, the family dog Rizzo bumped into a glass table, or something made of glass, causing it to shatter. He claims his father exploded in anger, and in the chaos, Chandler cut himself while cleaning up the mess. After that, he says his dad barely spoke to him for the rest of the day.
The detective at my house said something's happened, and while we were leaving, people were going inside. Is there a warrant for my house?
Should there be?
No, I'm just wondering. It's not okay.
As far as I know, they were at your house and they were going to be there talking to you to ask if you would come up here and talk.
Yeah, so Officer Haley just walked pretty much into the gate, the gate on the outside. She just kind of walked in. I was wondering.
When you were getting your wallet?
No, we were I was in the car waiting to leave. I was just wondering if everything's okay. She said something's happened. And we need to go down.
And then I'll find out what that's about.
Well, has anything bad happened?
Oh, sure.
Saying something's happened out of nowhere and anxiously asking if there's a warrant for his house is a moment of panic that makes little sense, unless Chandler isn't as clueless as he claims.
I have a feeling they argued a little bit after.
Parents did? What were they arguing about?
Probably what sent my dad off that day, the glass. Us not having food ready. Stuff like that. We just microwave whatever is in the fridge, I suppose.
Yeah. Who was upset about that?
then we just kind of hung out, and my mom gets home, and I start shrimp scampi for my dad because that's what he wanted, but we didn't have shrimp, so I made shrimpless scampi. That's where they told me while we were eating it they were gonna go with their friends, and I was like, oh, cool.
Well, and they just said they were going cabin.
Yeah, well, we were going up north. That's already referred to it.
Who said that? Mom or dad?
Ma. My dad doesn't talk well, he eats.
Okay.
So there we are at Thursday dinner, up north of the cabin. My dad says, I'll need a set for pipe repair and gas. So I'm like, all right. I grabbed the pipe repair stuff from his plumbing chest, or plumbing box. It's like a tote of what you need for pipe repair. After that, we watched what was that? It was a Netflix original, Seven Underground, with a thrill-seeking, like, it's like they fake their deaths and they fly airplanes, and they like fight at the evil of the world by being ghosts. But cool.
Sound like I've seen that one, yeah. Who was watching that?
The three of us,
All three of you? Okay.
all three, and that put it at 9. They had their drinks Friday morning. I woke up. They had left with the stuff. It was all set out. They remembered the cast. I found the folding chairs that they wanted to bring, but they never brought them. So they could fit them. So I put those away.
Chandler continues his story about the night before his parents supposedly left for their getaway. He says that during dinner on July 1st, his mother mentioned that she and Bart would be heading up north to their family-owned cabin, and that another couple would be picking them up for the trip. Then, according to him, he woke up the next morning around 6:15 a.m., and his parents were already gone. Even without focusing on his words, Chandler's body language is telling its own story. He avoids eye contact almost entirely, offers tiny, pointless details that go nowhere, and takes careful pauses as if he's meticulously reconstructing a story. And throughout this interrogation, he keeps rubbing his legs and arms, a subtle attempt at self-soothing. Chandler is sticking to a story of what he believes is a standard missing persons case. But what he doesn't know is that the web of lies he's spun for years is now closing in. Even as Chandler recounts every minute detail, there's one point of contention he's concealing. In the days leading up to their disappearance, his parents, especially his father, Bart, had begun to grow suspicious of his youngest son. Chandler claimed to be employed at an insurance company and on track to join SpaceX, yet he wasn't receiving any paychecks, was constantly short on money, and obtaining his college transcripts proved unusually difficult. On June 29th, Bart even called the college himself, posing as Chandler, to verify enrollment. A confused administrative worker revealed that Chandler had never completed his degree, owed $2,000 in tuition, and had not enrolled in any classes for over a year.
Hi. I'm trying to get an appointment scheduled to meet with somebody to mainly just get a copy of the transcript and also a printed copy of a certificate that was earned and other degree verification.
Okay, what's your first name?
Chandler, Chandler. Last name is Hald, D as in David, Erson.
You said last name is H-A-N?
Hal is in Larry, Derson.
I don't see that you earned a certificate. There were no like. You were taking,
oh, okay.
you were taking IT classes, right? I don't see that you were in a program.
Confronted with the shocking truth, Bart arranged an in-person meeting with Chandler at his college on July 1st. A text sent around 2 p.m. to Chandler read, "I'm ready whenever you are." Yet neither Chandler nor him ever showed up for this meeting. Chandler also claimed to investigators that he was asleep in the early hours of July 2nd and only woke before his parents left. But neighbors reported a strong smell of burning wood, and a security camera positioned about 300 feet from the Halderson home captured a flickering light outside. That door was later linked to human remains burnt in the fireplace, where investigators recovered 230 bone fragments. By this point, detectives likely already had mounting evidence against Chandler, yet they choose not to confront them directly, allowing him to speak freely. This patient, methodical approach would allow him to dismantle his story, while letting Chandler reveal the inconsistencies himself. With timelines cross-checked and digital data beginning to contradict him, detectives let Chandler continue uninterrupted, knowing every word was only tightening the case against him.
And after work, I believe that was the day Kat came over. After it was work, Kat, she had 5 her work. 5 is her work when she was off. I believe she came over.
What'd you do before? What's the bad?
It was Friday night. That might have been my own night. I might be wrong. I'm wrong.
Okay.
I think I spent that night alone. I just kind of gamed online with some of my friends. Oh, I said Saturday night. I'm so sorry, guys. No worries, right? So, one night, I gamed alone all night. One night, Kat spent the night on the couch. Oh, and Sunday, she spent the night in my bed with me. She helped me out. Stairs or Sunday night. I know that because she didn't want to spend another night on the couch bed. She didn't like it.
As he struggles to recall the exact days his girlfriend Catherine Melander visited, it becomes unclear whether Chandler is fabricating a new timeline or portraying memory lapses from a previous head injury he claims to have sustained.
Saturday, we didn't do much. She left. This is when I'm really starting to notice my legs. Kind of having the anxiety and all of that, and like getting a little frustrated with myself and all of that. Like it wasn't too bad until like last week Tuesday when I started noticing it, and Saturday was like the peak. It's kind of stayed out like this.
Peak anxiety.
And this kind of like set me like to ask for some space, and I just kind of gamed Saturday. And couldn't tell you when I went to bed. I think I might have even stayed up till 2. That, yeah. Yeah, it's just the same game. Escape from Tarkov. I couldn't get a hold of any of my friends to play with, unfortunately. I play like some here and there from Discord, but none would like stick around for that late in the night. Sure. Then we get to Sunday. It's the 4th. In the morning, I'm a little worried about my family. I think I called my mom. Oh, it's rough. I've called. I don't know the times, though. Throughout the weekend, I mean. But I called my mom, I believe, any morning, as along those lines, and I get a text from her. It was a text message. It wasn't even an iMessage, so I assumed. She said, white leg today. So she sent it that day. I couldn't figure out where she was. because there was a text, there was no iMessage. So I kind of just like left it at that. They're safe, they're alive.
The text message Chandler claimed to have received from his mother on Sunday, "Going to White Lake today for the parade," was later proven to be false. Not only had that message actually been sent on Sunday, but investigators discovered that cell phone data showed that the message originated from inside the family's Windsor home, at a time when Krista was supposedly miles away at a parade she never attended. It was yet another sign that nothing about Chandler's story made sense. After providing a long rundown of his activities over the following days, Chandler eventually got to the part where he mentioned his visit to the farm, a location that would later become the center of a major crime scene.
So I'm there talking to their mom and Chris. Then I go up to have, break down by the shed, and they go swimming. Right by the swimming pool is the shed, so they wanted to watch me, break down and all that. So after I noticed they're just watching, I just walk over to them.
Describe your breakdown to me.
I actually cried. Started kicking grass. Just doing the toddler tantrum shit. Then I hopped in the water with them. So it was too late. I was in the water. You realize Crest didn't have a top. And that was uncomfortable. But I talked to them more, and that's what she brought up, the housing situation, how she doesn't like how my parents are. I guess I don't know. She doesn't know that well. She's never met that.
Okay. Chris was saying that?
The cat's mom. Cat's mom is speaks is her first thought right away. So they're offering me to get a job, live with them, work for them while I'm working, and pay rent. And that's kind of their deal. I would have like a month free of rent, or a month or two maybe, if they're thinking. I could be able to borrow a car from Crest maybe if she's nice. Or not using it, I'd be able to go to work.
Did she buy a car or something? No. Okay. Just an extra one, probably.
She stays at the farm. So if she didn't need it, I could use it to go to a job, or at least interviews. Yeah. I was hoping for a job, near where I live, so I could bike, or that would keep me, these going. I don't think they can get worse, but I could keep doing it,
Said, we're Sunday, so you were swimming over in a breakdown. What were you having a breakdown about?
You ever have your legs start? No, it's just, I don't even know if they're getting as bad as they can be yet. So yeah, that's not fun.
And I think you were telling me last night it's a symptom of a concussion, right?
So that's not it. It's a symptom of nerve damage from the hit my spine. So it's permanent.
Okay, I understand that now better.
Yeah. So it's just legs. Thankfully, it's waist feeling is probably colostomy bag down the road and all of that. But here we are Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, we're sitting in the pool, we're hanging out.
Now, it's interesting to note that by this point, Chandler has grown more comfortable with investigators, rambling through irrelevant details in stark contrast to how subdued and restrained he'd been at the start of the interrogation. After providing a few more inconsequential details, Chandler gets to the point of the timeline where his parents still haven't returned home yet.
Now I'm like, it's Tuesday morning, they should be here. No worry, I think I called my mom that day. Alright, but then
You talk for?
And no, she ever picked on it this way either. It's always the voicemail and said voicemail. You know when so it's off, out of range. I don't know the other factors that could give you that.
It's like a voicemail right away. Post right to voicemail, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever factors could give you that.
So I might have missed it. So from the time like they left, did you talk to them at all when they were
I got it
up north?
You got the one text that you mentioned earlier, been like it, right? Yeah, that was it. Nothing else. Yeah. So that's fishy to me, even the text, because I realized Memorial Day is when the White Lake Parade is.
Oh, sure.
There's no 4th of July. Maybe there's cheap drinks, but there's no parade at White Lake on the 4th. So, well, maybe there is now. I realize I've always gone on Memorial because that's the shirkin. I get time off at school and all of that. You don't get time off at a 40.
So basically, from the time that they're gone at the cabin in your home, running around doing what you're doing, you just had one communication with mom.
Yeah, that's kind of how I just assumed the amount of people, where they're at, and where they're all.
Well, I understand. I don't think I realized it's only one.
Her not contacting, but this is the only text.
Was there anything with that?
No, I later bother talking to him. He won't use his phone while he's up there. He loves it. Do that.
Yeah. Does he keep his phone on when he's up there?
It's usually a car.
Chandler goes on to describe how his family and friends grew increasingly concerned about Bart and Krista's whereabouts, eventually persuading him to file a missing persons report. By now, detectives have started turning up the heat on him.
Wednesday morning, he said you went to the police department.
Yeah, to make that's the thing of it. Talk to him about my parents. And then I met with 3 sheriffs that came.
3, you said?
3. There was a Seeley. He's bearded. The guy that drove me here. I'm not sure the name. And then Collins. She was also doing canvassing. So canvassing. So here we are, throws 3. I get the questions answered. And then, then we go to my house. And then there's 3 more, the same 3 sheriffs.
So they talked to you at the police station or wherever you get.
Yeah, it gives information and stuff.
And then I came to your house.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably about. Then I came a couple hours later.
They were there questioning. You're here now questioning. And then that night, what night are we on? Wednesday night. I go to Dan and Mary's.
Wednesday night.
What time are you there? They feed me, probably 7:30.
And you said you went to
Dan and Mary Sesto and Dan Somethingovich.
So Mary Sesto's house.
Mary Sesto's house. It's on the same road. Every rush. Yeah. Okay, just up.
Her house square. For dinner, you went there?
Yeah. Well, they just fed me. They didn't eat. Okay, they just wanted their brain store.
Chandler will now try to get ahead of what he likely knows investigators will soon uncover in his home. He suddenly brings up a minor foot injury he got, claiming it caused blood to splatter throughout the house.
I get most of it. There's a bunch in the cracks of the stone that I'm picking off my hand. I think I didn't injure myself from that, but just yeah. Just my blood was kind of on the floor, so I got the swiffer I borrowed from Kat from the foot. I borrowed a Swiffer to mop. I Swiffered the floor, like not the stone, but the floor. And then I got a little bit in the kitchen. And then everywhere kind of I walked, pretty much. The bathroom, the kitchen, and then I couldn't get the carpet, so I still stained that up real crappy. Where was there carpet at? The stairs between basement and kitchen. Carpet. Oh, that's right. Carpet stairs. I tried. I can't get it out. I don't know how to do that, but then all the way up to the laundry room where I found my first aid kit. I just tried to stop all the bleeding, but it wouldn't stop. So
That blood was all coming from your left foot.
yeah, left foot hole.
Left foot hole. Yeah. I mean, are we talking massive amounts of blood? Or are we talking, a little bit? Like this ground?
It started as drops until I got to the bathroom. And then I got back to go grab my sock and some of the paper towel. And I see the glasses in there, so I grab the tweezers and I pull it out. And then it starts spurting out. And I got some on a little bit of the rock. It wasn't that bad of the rock. But I think the worst was that floor. That, like, it kind of like, like this lip puddles. Wasn't good.
We're not in the floor down in the basement.
Well, that one, and then I go upstairs to the kitchen, and it's still going, and I'm trying to get my foot in the sink just to slow it down and pinch it, maybe. And then I waddle upstairs to the IFAC, the first aid kit. And once I got it kind of bundled up, it stopped for what I know.
Did your dad get injured at all? The glass broke? Did he step on any or?
He sent me up, but I don't doubt it. He gets mad. He's not thinking.
So we don't know if your dad got hurt.
No.
Okay.
No. Well, my best guess is that guy reached in the fireplace and cut his arm or something. Oh.
Chandler doesn't deny that his father's blood could be in the home, but he also doesn't confirm it. He simply leaves the door open to that possibility.
The head pain, do you guys have like Tylenol or something? I know you guys can't really offer anything like that, but
Like a headache?
yeah, but you're getting the migraines from all of the hits and stuff.
I'm trying to get you some. So cleaning up the blood, we just got the Swiffer and the hydrogen peroxide.
Just kind of smeared it around.
Is there any reason to believe mom or dad's blood would be somewhere in the house? Have they been injured at all that you're aware of?
Oh, my dad scratches his psoriasis till he gushes blood.
Okay. Gushing, describe gushing to me.
Enough to run down your leg, like cover your leg, I suppose. Like he has it on his knee. So when he does this, it just drips down. And I ask him to stop, but he doesn't do it when he's stressed out. Yeah, he just kind of it's his tick.
Yeah, probably itches. Does he, does it enough to get on the floor? Does it leave?
Oh, yeah.
Like how much, before we're talking the water bottle lid and the Yeti lid, is there, are we talking puddles like that or just groans or?
It could be enough. Okay. But I'm thinking Yeti lid if he's there and I don't catch him soon.
Oh, jeez.
My ma's blood, just from her bloody noses she gets sometimes when she wakes up. That's why we've been doing the humidifier and dehumidifiers.
Yeah. Probably downstairs you get
We have to do multiple of them, but she can't be in the living room too long because that's a dehumidifier. And if she does, her nose gets bad. Not like a regular one, she gets it bad.
After an hour of providing inconsequential detail, the tone in the room will now shift. Because Chandler's girlfriend's phone data is about to expose a groundbreaking piece of evidence he can't explain.
We got all the background, I think, right? Yeah, I think so. So, I think it's time we start talking about what happened to your parents. Like the truthful version.
Okay.
Okay?
So we have like 20 pages of writing. Then I start with a clean white piece of paper for you to start telling the truth.
Okay, well, because listen to me. This is the only chance you're gonna have to tell us the truth.
Okay.
Listen. I can't tell you what we know, but we know you're not telling us the truth. We know your parents are no longer with us. Okay, and we know the reason why. Okay, we need to tell the truth. Listen. You need to tell the truth about what happened, and just tell us why it happened. Okay? If something happened, if you were defending yourself, or if you just fed up with stuff, you need to tell us the truth. Okay? This is your chance to tell us why. Okay? I'm not BSing you. Okay?
The moment Chandler Halderson was confronted with the inevitable, he descended into a state of absolute panic.
Did we do that?
Okay. They're okay.
Lawyer.
I'm sorry. Shading at you, lawyer. Okay. Because they're
Okay. You want a lawyer?
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. This rate's on the Tony Mayor's about 641.
And the rest.
Okay. You know that what happened. Okay, you know what happened. We're not going to tell you what happened. You know what happened. You were there when it happened. We're not BSing you, okay? I wasn't there when it happened today. We know more than you think we know. We asked you. But there's people that have told us things. We have evidence. We have proof that more has happened. Okay. So your parents never made it to the cabin, and I think you know that. Okay, so you're asking for an attorney. We're not asking you more questions. And that's him. Did a stand darkness coming over here from there. Get any in your pockets at all? Wallet. This wallet could be put in there for us. Oh. The big call.
As Chandler demands a lawyer, the interrogation abruptly ends, and he's officially arrested, with him refusing to speak further. Krista's whereabouts still remained unknown. Detectives then turned to Chandler's girlfriend, 21-year-old Catherine Melander, the one person who had been closest to him during the exact weekend his parents vanished, and the one who could finally fill in the missing pieces.
So how did you find out that the parents were not, that they were late? Did he tell you?
Yeah, we text like all the time, or Snapchat all the time. Not really text, or both. And it's like the entire week I'm like, hey, did you hear from your mom? Did your mom text you? Because like I'm so used to her texting him like while we're hanging out or while she's away, you know? And he's like, no, but like maybe the cell service is bad. It's a busy weekend. They're all probably using like one tower.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, did you hear from your mom? It's like, no, not yet. It's fine. It's probably busy, you know, with their friends. It's like, in a way, like, you know, like, it'll be okay, you know, type of thing. Like, they'll talk to us when they can. Okay.
Sure.
And then, like, I was like, hey, like, have you heard from them? He's like, no, not yet. I'm like, okay, well, has Mitch heard from them? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, you should maybe ask Mitch. She's like, I don't want to make him worried. I'm like, well, even just ask, like, hey, his mom sent you pictures of the cabin or anything, you know? Because, like, Mitch has this whole diabetes thing and, like, just had an attack the Father's Day brunch thing we did. Like, his mom was really concerned, so I knew she would be texting him, if not Chandler. So.
In the first of her 3 interviews, Catherine explains that she truly believed Chandler was an engineering student, just one class away from graduating. She also believed he was incapable of harming his parents. At least the version of Chandler she thought she knew.
You don't think he had anything to do with his mom and dad being unheard from?
No. I just, no. No. All my friends I've talked to, they're like, no. Not Chandler, no. Like, that'd be crazy. Sorry, I sound very monotone right now, but like, just no. No. Mm-mm. But I just don't see him killing Mr. and Mrs. Halderson. Like, he had SpaceX. Like, why would he jeopardize something he, like, would dream of, you know? Like, they're his parents. For Christmas, they got him and his brother matching tool sets. Like, come on.
However, their relationship did have existing fractures that ultimately provided crucial evidence for the case. Earlier in their relationship, after she had caught Chandler cheating, Kat asked him to share his location with her via the Snapchat Snap Map feature. On July 3rd, while Chandler told her that he was at home doing chores, Kat checked the Snap Map out of habit. His location showed him 25 miles away, near a wooded area by the Wisconsin River. She takes a screenshot, simply to ask him about it later. When investigators later downloaded the data from her phone, that screenshot provided exact coordinates for a search. At that location on July 14th, detectives find human remains later identified as Krista Halderson. The discovery was gruesome. Only portions of her body were recovered, with her legs found in 2 separate areas. With Bart and Krista confirmed dead, there was little doubt that their youngest son, Chandler Halderson, was the killer. Detectives would later reconstruct a chilling timeline of events. After Bart discovered Chandler's lies and confronted him about his college enrollment on the afternoon of July 1st, he was shot twice in the back around 2:15 p.m., the exact time his health app stopped recording and his phone was turned off. Only minutes later, Krista received a text from Chandler, claiming her husband's phone had died and requesting her to pick up some items, including soda, on her way home. Krista arrives roughly 3 hours after her husband's death and was killed later that evening on July 1st, though the exact circumstances of her death remain unclear. Based on damning evidence, Chandler had dismembered his parents and attempted to burn their remains before scattering them. Investigators concluded that Chandler's motive was to silence his parents and cover up years of deception, from falsified college enrollment to a fabricated career, ensuring no one could expose the truth. Following his July 8th interrogation, Chandler Halderson was initially charged with providing false information on a missing person. As the investigation progressed and the remains of his parents were positively identified, prosecutors filed a series of additional, more serious charges. He now faced 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, one for Bart and one for Krista. He's also charged with mutilating and hiding the corpses of both parents, along with providing false information on their disappearance. In January 2022, Chandler Halderson went to trial for the murders of his parents. The trial lasted about 2 weeks and featured crucial testimony from his girlfriend, Catherine, his neighbors, and forensic experts, who detailed the bone fragments found in the home's fireplace. Mitchell, Chandler's older brother, also took the stand against him. The jury deliberates for just over 2 hours before finding him guilty on all charges. On March 17, 2022, Judge John H. Blahnik sentences Chandler to life in prison without the possibility of parole, stating, "You will return to the community for the privilege of a burial that you denied your parents." When given the opportunity to speak, Chandler used that moment to indicate his intent to appeal the conviction, making it clear that his battle against the verdict was far from over.
Your Honor, I want to take this opportunity to state my intent to appeal my convictions. If there are any lawyers listening and willing to take on my appeal, take a moment to please reach out to me. It's not that I do not have feelings. It's that I was warned to not show them due to the scrutiny of this case. Thank you.
2 lives were needlessly taken, and a family torn apart, all by the hands of someone they trusted most. Bart and Krista Halderson had built a life of stability and love, only to have it shattered by the lies and betrayal of their own son. In the end, the Halderson story serves as a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of leading a double life. We hoped you enjoyed our production. Please make sure to subscribe so we can keep creating the best crime videos out there, bringing real stories to light. See you soon.